As we get a little older, our bodies start to change in ways we might not always notice right away. One day you might realize that certain foods you've enjoyed for years suddenly don't sit as well as they used to. Maybe you feel a bit more sluggish after a meal, or your digestion isn't what it once was. And if you've ever wondered why, you're not alone. The truth is, after 60, some foods that were once harmless or even healthy can become risky for us. Doctors are seeing more and more cases where seniors are experiencing health issues simply because of what's on their plates. That's why today, we're going to talk about 3 dangerous foods you should avoid after 60. These aren't just random guesses. These are foods that medical professionals are warning about because they've seen the real impact they can have on our health as we age. And don't worry, this isn't about depriving yourself or giving up everything you love. It's about making smarter choices so you can feel your best, stay active, and enjoy life without unnecessary health scares. Now, the first food on our list might surprise you because it's something many of us grew up thinking was perfectly fine, maybe even healthy. I'm talking about deli meats and processed meats. Things like ham, salami, hot dogs, and even some packaged turkey or chicken slices. They're quick, easy, and a go-to for sandwiches or snacks, right? But here's the problem. These meats are loaded with sodium, nitrates, and preservatives, ingredients that can wreak havoc on your body as you get older. Excess sodium is a big one. It can lead to high blood pressure, which already becomes a bigger concern after 60. And those nitrates, they've been linked to an increased risk of heart disease and even certain cancers. Plus, processed meats are often high in unhealthy fats, which can contribute to inflammation, something many of us deal with as we age, whether it's joint pain or slower recovery from illness. Now, I'm not saying you can never have a ham sandwich again, but if these meats are a regular part of your diet, it might be time to rethink things. Try swapping them out for fresher options, like grilled chicken, homemade roasted turkey, or even plant-based proteins like hummus or avocado. Small changes can make a big difference in how you feel. And that brings us to the second food doctors say we should be cautious about: sugary breakfast cereals and refined carbs. You might be thinking, but cereal is a classic breakfast. How bad can it be? Well, let's talk about that next. Breakfast is supposed to be the most important meal of the day, but for many of us, it's also the most misleading. Think about those colorful cereal boxes lining the grocery store shelves. They promise energy, vitamins, and even a touch of nostalgia. After all, who didn't grow up enjoying a bowl of sweet, crunchy cereal with milk? But here's the hard truth. Many of those cereals, even the ones marketed as healthy or fortified, are packed with sugar and refined carbohydrates. And after 60, that's a problem. Let's break it down. When you eat a bowl of sugary cereal or even a white bagel with jam, your blood sugar spikes rapidly. Your body releases insulin to manage that surge. But as we age, our insulin sensitivity isn't what it used to be. Over time, this cycle can lead to insulin resistance, weight gain, and even type 2 diabetes, something seniors are already at higher risk for. Plus, that quick burst of energy, it's often followed by a crash, leaving you feeling tired and foggy by mid-morning. And it's not just about sugar. Refined carbs like white bread, pastries, and even some crackers act similarly in the body. They're stripped of fiber and nutrients, meaning they digest too quickly and leave you hungry again soon after. Worse yet, studies have linked high refined carb intake to increased inflammation, which can worsen joint pain, heart health, and even memory function. Now, does this mean you can never enjoy toast or a sweet treat again? Of course not. But it does mean being mindful of swaps. Instead of sugary cereal, try oatmeal with fresh berries and a sprinkle of nuts. Swap white bread for whole grain or sourdough, which digests more slowly. And if you're craving something sweet, reach for fruit first, nature's candy, with fiber to balance the sugar. Small tweaks like these can keep your energy steady and your body feeling better in the long run. Which brings us to the third and final food on our list, one that might be the most surprising of all because it's often touted as a health food. I'm talking about diet sodas and artificially sweetened drinks. Grissom. Now, this last one might really catch you off guard. After all, if sugary drinks are bad, then diet sodas and sugar-free alternatives must be the smarter choice, right? Well, not exactly. Doctors and researchers are finding that artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin may come with their own set of risks, especially for those of us over 60. At first glance, it makes sense. Cut out sugar, cut out the problems. But here's what's happening beneath the surface. Artificial sweeteners trick your brain into expecting sugar, and when it doesn't get the real thing, it can actually lead to more cravings for sweets later on. Ever noticed how after drinking a diet soda, you suddenly want something sweet to eat? That's not just willpower, it's your body reacting to the confusion. But the bigger concern is what these sweeteners may be doing to your long-term health. Some studies suggest a link between artificial sweeteners and an increased risk of stroke, heart disease, and even changes in gut bacteria, which we now know plays a huge role in everything from digestion to immunity. And for those managing diabetes, research shows that despite being sugar-free, these sweeteners might still negatively affect blood sugar control over time. So what's the alternative? If you're used to sipping on diet drinks throughout the day, try switching to flavored sparkling water with a splash of real fruit juice, herbal teas, or even just good old-fashioned water with lemon or cucumber for a refreshing twist. Your body will thank you for the hydration without the chemical aftertaste. So let's recap. We've talked about avoiding processed meats loaded with sodium and nitrates, cutting back on sugary cereals and refined carbs that spike your blood sugar, and steering clear of diet sodas that may do more harm than good. But here's the most important takeaway. This isn't about living in fear of food. It's about making small, mindful changes that add up to big benefits for your health and energy. You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Maybe this week, you swap deli meat for fresh chicken in your sandwich. Next week, try a bowl of oatmeal instead of sugary cereal. And the week after that, trade that diet soda for a fizzy, fruit-infused water. Every positive choice counts. And remember, you're not alone in this. If you've already made some of these changes, share your experience in the comments below. What swaps have worked for you? Your tips might just inspire someone else to take that first step toward feeling better. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It really does make a difference. And don't forget to subscribe for more simple, practical advice to help you live your healthiest, happiest life after 60. Because age is just a number, but how you feel, that's what really matters. Here's to making every year your best one yet, one smart, delicious choice at a time.